Alright guys, welcome back to Metroid Prime 2. Last time I met Metroid Prime 2, we just finished up in the Torvus spot, or we finished off the Boost Guardian, and now we're gonna be, whatchamacallit, excuse me, continuing on through Torvus to find the next Dark Temple keys and any sort of upgrades, I believe, or I might be actually backtracking, if I remember right, because I do know that there is a point where I have to backtrack to the temple grounds in order to find some major upgrades, or well, at least one major upgrade. But I don't think it's this part. I think I end the session by heading back to Aegon. But for right now, actually, since we have the boost ball, we got access to a few upgrades, so we're going to be just taking our time to do that, and, yeah. And now, if it sounds like I'm a little weird right now, it's actually because I'm trying a new setup with, DaVinci here, where, it's kind of similar back to my Persona 5 Let's Play, where I used the editor to record my voiceover for post commentary. So I'm only gonna try it this one time. I was just kind of too lazy to set up Audacity. So I'm just kind of curious to see what it's like. And if I don't like it, then I will never do it again. But you know, that's the nature of testing, is just seeing it, because this has been a feature. This is a new feature to me. I've never seen it before. So I'm just kind of curious. My only downside so far is that it's too fucking loud. And I have no idea how to turn down the audio for... can I... No, yeah, I can do that. There we go. I was like trying to figure out, like, man, it's so fucking loud, I can't hear myself think, because that's why I'm having a hard time trying to come up with tangents, because there's too much noise in my ears right now, but... there we go. I figured it out. I'm trying to remember the thing I was trying to talk about last part, but I just can't seem to remember. I mean, I know it was probably Metroid Prime 4 related, because that's kind of just been a topic that's gets brought up all the fucking time. At the time of this recording, I have played a little bit of... Oh, well, I did mention DK Bonanza. I actually have played a little bit of it. I am currently in the third world? Or is it second world, technically? Because I don't know if the prologue area counts as a world. And then there's the first area, which is the tropical layer, I believe it's called. And then there's the other layer where it's... I forgot what it's called, but it's like it's a pretty easy area with all the crystal rock people. I forgot what they were called. I forgot what it was called. And then I'm in the canyon layer now. But again, so far it's actually really good. I have actually really no critiques for it. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, this is the game of the year," because I already chose my game of the year, and that was Expedition 33. Just saying. I absolutely love Expedition 33. I think it was probably one of the best games I've played in the past few years. And, especially this year. I mean, this year was kind of, I'm gonna be honest, this year is kind of dry in terms of gaming this year, huh? And I know why, because a lot of the major companies are avoiding releasing their game at the same time as Grand Theft Auto 6, which does come out in... what, about a month from now, or it comes out about a year from now? Or it would have come out back in... It was supposed to come out in the Q3 of this year, if I remember right, but it ended up getting delayed because of... Well, they didn't say, they just delayed it. And that doesn't surprise me at all when it comes to, Rockstar, because, I mean... I may say that I don't like Grand Theft Auto, but I have played the likes of like Red Dead Redemption, and I know L.A. Noire technically wasn't developed by Rockstar; it was published by them. But I did really like L.A. Noire. It's not perfectly polished, but then again, that was a whole different team. So, but Rockstar published it. But Red Dead Redemption, especially, I have played it, and you know. Rockstar does believe in quality for the most part. I mean, yeah, there's glitches here and there, but there's glitches in every game. It's just an inevitability. I can't think of a single game that doesn't have at least some sort of glitching. Even like pristine games that people, you know, say are glitchless. They have glitches in there. So most of the time they're beneficial, but they have them. I mean, Metroid Prime is a huge example. I love that game. I could say that there's nothing wrong with it. But, I mean, besides the artifact, the chose artifact hunting, but that's a whole different can of worms. But, I mean, there's still fucking glitches in there. I'll say that. I mean, especially some that benefit. They're mostly glitches that benefit. I can't really think of any glitches that hinder the experience in Prime 1. Or Prime 2, for that matter. No, I can't think of anything. Yeah, no. I genuinely can't think of anything. But, actually, so you may be wondering, why are we back in the temple grounds? Well, we actually are here for a major upgrade. So, now that we have access to the boost ball, this is kind of similar to having to go back to the Chozo ruins back in, and I failed. This is kind of similar to having to go back to the not Chozo ruins, the Talon overworld. That's essentially what this is because in order to get certain, because there are some upgrades that are kind of required for progression in the temple grounds, but you wouldn't know that because you have to go back. Actually, the upgrade I believe we're getting is the Seeker Missile, which is actually an upgrade that kind of becomes a staple to the Primes here specifically. And it does technically have a... it does actually show up in the 2D games. I know it shows up in Dread, or... Well, it's not called the Seeker Missile in Dread. It's called something else. I think it's called the Storm Missile in Dread. But it's the Seeker Missile. But we have to solve this puzzle in order to get it. And in all honesty, I think I just kind of brute force it. I don't really ever remember like which panels I'm supposed to go to in what order. I always just kind of brute force it. So what you want to do is you want to line the panels up to where they shine like that yellow color, like that. Like you want them to look like that. But you know, keep in mind that it's, you know, typical puzzle stuff where sometimes sometimes you move multiple panels at once, and sometimes you move panels that you didn't intend to move. So you have to keep an eye on which ones move when you use the boost ball spinner. Like right there, like that one didn't move originally, but now it is. So I gotta keep moving it back. But I think I usually, like 9 times out of 10, just brute force this puzzle. Or actually, maybe I might be getting it pretty quickly. Oh yeah, no, I got it. Actually, I didn't have I don't think I brute forced it this time. I know I usually do sometimes. There we go. Oh, Seeker Launcher. I'm sorry. It's the same thing, though. It's the Seeker Missiles. So, the Seeker Missiles are usually mainly used to open purple doors. And what you do is you press and hold the missile button, and you aim at these 5 little purple nodes on here, and there you go. And that's how you open Seeker Missile doors. That's it. And yeah, that's how you use the Seeker Missiles, is you press and hold the missiles in order to, well, use them. But they do consume 5 missiles. Technically 6, because you have to fire off the first missile, which is pretty annoying, but Honestly, though, I like using the secret missiles more in Prime 3 and in the trilogy version of this game, because I don't have because moving the Wii remote just feels more natural to do that for than doing it with tilting the arm cannon in the main in the GameCube version. It's not terrible. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just like, I like that. I like how smooth it feels in the Wii version. Excuse me, more than in the GameCube version. But yeah, that's actually that was the main thing we came to backtrack for in this run of Aegon Wastes here. Is we just came for that. Yeah, that's all we needed. That's actually like that's the only major thing you have to come back for, which is one thing that Prime 2 gets a lot of shit for, which is it's a lot of backtracking to the Temple Grounds or Aegon Wastes for one upgrade that is required in order to actually get it. But I mean, technically backtracking was a thing back in Prime 1, and I never critiqued it. Like, I have no problem with backtracking in a Metroid game. That happens all the time. But like, if the backtracking is a lot, like say I'm going all the way to Torvus, get to a room where I can't go, and it's like 4 minutes in, and then I'm going back to the Aegon Waste, getting that upgrade, and then coming back to the Temple Ground, and then coming back to Torvus, getting like 2 rooms in after finding the upgrade that's needed to get through the door, and then I have to go back to the Temple Grounds after 2 rooms, and yeah, that's the kind of backtracking I don't like. But if it's like, going back like once every couple hour, like going back once every bit in order to, whatchamacallit, oh, that's not good. I'm not sure how that's going to work out for the commentary, but we'll see. So, if you didn't see, what happened was my playback on DaVinci just kind of stuttered for a second and started processing at like 100 frames a second, which is not the frame rate I record at. That is, I just do 60 FPS for everything, and that might be a problem, but I will see what happens. Again, this is all just testing. I'm probably not gonna stick to this thing because I like Audacity. I'm not sponsored by Audacity or DaVinci, mind you. Oh, by the way, yeah, we have to actually kill the Dark Trooper in that Dark Missile Trooper to get a missile tank. This is the only time you have to do that. You don't have to do that ever again. I don't know why they made a whole ass enemy with a scan log and all that just for a missile expansion, and that's the only time you have to do it. So, yeah, by the way, if you don't scan that Dark Missile Trooper, you don't get it, so make sure you scan them. Yeah, but the other thing I'm coming here is for a little bit of cleanup to make things a little bit easier later. But I will say, when we do cleanup, we will be doing it while we do the hunt for the Sky Temple keys, which is probably going to be like probably the most boring parts of the Let's Play, and I'm still trying to figure out. I haven't gotten to that point in the game yet. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to put that together. I don't know if I want to just do like a montage and cut to every Sky Temple key / pickup that I get. But then, or if I would rather just play it straight. I haven't decided that approach yet. I might decide that based on how I'm doing in terms of, length. Like, if it's getting to a point to where it's like, I'm playing the game and I'm saying to myself, I would probably bore the shit out of my future self, then I'll probably just end up having to cut. Which means that there might be, like, a couple of times, there probably might be a week or two where I don't upload Prime 2 parts because I'm taking the time to edit the stuff. Because usually when I edit, Let's Plays, I don't do, like, a crazy amount of editing. Like, I'm not doing the whole... I'm not doing anything like, like zooming in on every little thing or, putting you know, crazy sounds in the background for no reason. Like, I do that on occasion for jokes, like, especially if, there's like a low-hanging fruit, I guess you could say. If there's a low-hanging fruit joke that I make, I'll do it. But, like, I'm not doing, like, fucking, Mr. Beast level editing, if you could call it. Or, as some people classify it as brain rot edit, because I've seen people do that, and I'd like to think I'm a little bit better than that. I mean, at least I'm not putting, like, fucking Subway Surfers gameplay in the shorts that I upload. Like, I'm not doing that, plus and knowing my future self, I might do that now. But I've never understood. I don't understand the appeal, like, that kind of shit. I really don't understand how people are making money out of that. I get it's because, if someone watches it, if they get money out of it, but it's like, I feel like there should be some sort of copyright thing where it's like, where they play like Family Guy clips or clips from a show or whatever, and they just like do like the most basic editing, like to hide it, like they cut it random points, or they cut it off at the very end of whatever the scene's supposed to be to, or something like that. Like one example I have is, I believe it was a clip of young Sheldon where, it was George, the dad, not Georgie, was, I don't think I have to. I don't think I have to put a spoiler warning for. I just ignored what I was looking for. I think, or maybe I did get it. I don't remember. What was I saying? Spoiler alert! It's right when George dies. Spoiler alert for young Sheldon, by the way. I mean, I'm pretty sure didn't they reveal that in Big Bang Theory anyway, that Sheldon's dad died or something like that. Well, in young Sheldon, they have a scene where Sheldon is, grieving in his own way. Like, it shows everybody grieving in their own way or something like that. But the person who edited the video, they cut it like in the middle of Sheldon's inner monologues and stuff like that, because throughout the show they have the actor for Sheldon, I forgot his name. They have him convey Sheldon's thought, because Sheldon is reading it off like it's his biography or whatever. But, like, they keep cutting it at random points, and Sheldon just fucking sentences. And then, like, there's one point where, like, the big climax of the scene, they cut right past it. And I'm like, the climax of the scene in this instance is, like, one of those things where it's like, it's a huge character moment for a few people. Why are we cutting it? And then they also, like, put, like, they put, like, music over it, and it's, like, so loud you can't even hear the dialogue in the first place. There's so much wrong with the TikTok and shit like that. And then on top of that, they put those, like, videos of someone, like, messing with, like, I don't know what it's called, like, they are, like, scraping off, like, beads off of a cup or whatever, like, it's like those satisfying ASMR things or whatever they're called. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is way too much. It's like, this is fucking crazy. It's like, man, we are rotting people's brains with this shit. I know it sounds so obvious to say out loud, but it's like, Jesus, like, fucking stop. But I like to think I am better than that. I like to think that I'm not the wisest of commentators on this YouTube platform. I don't think I make mostly I make dick jokes. I make dick jokes, and probably jokes that are genuinely not funny, but I still laugh anyway, because that's the only way I'd prove I'm still alive inside. Please send help. But I mean, I like to think I'm better. I like to think that my commentary style is not crazy. I mean, it's just a style I kind of stole from the Super Gaming Brothers for the moment. I mean, I haven't watched anything recent from the Super Gaming Brothers because of I just haven't had the time to. I haven't really sat down and watched them. Because I mean, I watch a lot of their older stuff in the background, you know, while I work, or I like having noise when I sleep mostly. But like, you know, I watch their older stuff for that kind of stuff. You know, like I'm listening to in on their like I think the most recent one that I've been listening in on is their old Batman marathon, their old Batathon, where especially when they played Arkham Asylum, and for the most part their commentary was pretty good. I mean, Elliot was a different you know, Elliot was pretty crazy. I mean, yeah, they're pretty funny together, but like Elliot had a few brain rot moments here and there, but it's not like, you know, I think he does. I think Elliot did use the word skibbity at one point in a recent Let's Play for SGB. I think it was the Astrobot Let's Play. I think he used the word skibbity, and I don't remember. But I'm just gonna pretend I didn't. I'm gonna pretend he didn't. But I actually am kind of hoping this works out, like this whole new setup. Anyway, as I was saying, I do kind of hope this DaVinci setup works a little bit, because I could use that for emergencies like this, where I just kind of didn't feel like going through the process of Audacity and all that kind of stuff. And maybe it might save some file space, because I think I mentioned, you know, I render out a low quality version of the Let's Play, or of the part that I'm doing. Like, I render out a low quality part of the video that I'm doing. That way I have something to watch while I commentate on, because it's kind of hard to commentate on a video without the video. Like, it's just one of the things where I can't do that, mainly because, you know, I react to whatever I'm doing, technically. Most of the time it's me berating myself for not pressing the A button or some crap. But, yeah. But, I'm hoping maybe this will work out and be actually probably better. I'm gonna let fate decide for a second. I'm probably gonna, you know, once I finish recording this and edit it together and render it out and probably watch it a couple times I'll probably make that judgment call. My future self will make that judgment call. He can probably put in text in the next part saying if he did it or not, but I don't know. So actually, real quick, we're not going to be here for that long in this part anyway, because this is going to be the end of the part. I think, judging from the playhead, we are pretty close to approaching the end of the part. But, oh yay, 60% of the logbook unlocked. Cool. Anyway, so this is actually the second area of Torvus. I believe it's called... what was I saying? This is, I believe, called... the Torvus sublayer, I believe it's called. So now we're not really in a swamp. We're more in like a marine biology lab or something like that. We're kind of in a lab of some sort. And I believe this was Luminoth. I mean, well, 90% of the planet is Luminoth. Actually, if I remember correctly, apparently the Chozo were here, which doesn't surprise me at all, because I could have sworn... I'm over here, you idiot. Anyway, as I was saying, I remember last time when I had to pull up the Aether Wiki for some reason. I don't remember why I pulled it up, but I remember reading something. I saw the word Chozo in there, which honestly wouldn't surprise me at all if the Chozo had something to do with this. I feel like 90% of the problems that happen in Metroid are because of the Chozo somehow. I can't think of a single thing in the Metroid series that isn't caused by the Chozo. That or the... No, it's mostly the Chozo most of the time. I mean, Metroids in the first place were created by the Chozo. And I believe the X parasites were caused by the Chozo, weren't they? Hold on, let's do a quick Google search of what haven't the Chozo. I'm gonna do it off my phone. Like, I know they created Metroids. That's all I'm getting so far. But I know that, like, they were on Talon 4. They had the Chozo ruins in Talon 4. They actually do have a planet in Prime 3, which was the Sky Town in Prime 3. Excuse me. And then in... I just turned right back around like, you know what? I don't feel like dealing with your shit right now, Dark Samus. Maybe later. This cat's starting to annoy me. What was I saying? Well, I feel like 90% of this conflicts in the Metroid series is usually caused by the Chozo. Usually indirectly. I don't think they're doing it out of ill will most of the time, but... I mean, I know the entirety of Dread was caused by Ravenbeak, technically, because he wanted to possess Samus's Metroid DNA back in Dread, but that's a whole can of worms that I would have to talk about when we get to Dread. Dread is a very weird game. Well, it's not weird, but it's hard to explain. That makes sense, but I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And then I'll make fun of David Jaffe throughout the entire Let's Play like I did back in Zero Mission. But I believe that's actually the end of the part. Judging from the fact that I'm just kind of staring at the map, I think I'm getting up to turn off the GameCube. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, that's actually going to do it for this part of Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. The next time we meet in Metroid Prime 2, we're going to be continuing to explore the sub-area, the lower levels of Torvus, to see if we can find the other Dark Temple keys and eventually the next temple boss. But see you guys next time, and take care.